so I'll just give it a few minutes to let some people pop on. Drink my coffee in my mug that matches the painting. See? Thinking. Anyway, welcome. This is my second artist talk on a Friday. I've gotten into a bit of a rhythm doing live videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during this particularly interesting time of our lives right now. So today is an artist talk, and I'm going to be explaining one of my pieces to you and going through it, and maybe you'll find this interesting, maybe you won't, I'm not sure, but I hope that it offers you a break in your day, if nothing else. So I hope you got your coffee. I hope you have quiet kids in the background. Mine are locked in my bedroom. We'll see how that goes. Yes, I hope you are all doing well. So let me start. This piece behind me is called Flowers in the Field. I made it in 2016, so it's one of my older pieces that I have available. Funny enough that it's one of my older pieces that I have available, and I would say it's definitely one of my most popular pieces in terms of people's reactions to it. Whenever I post it on my Instagram or Facebook, or whenever I have it at an art show, people very much gravitate towards this piece. I think people don't know what to say about it. They don't know why they love it. And I mean, for me, it's obvious why I love it. It's the colors. This piece in 2016, this piece was a bit of a breakthrough for me. And I have certain pieces along my career as an artist that have popped out as pieces that have taught me something and had, a crazy light bulb moment where I went, oh my gosh, that's it. And this piece I remember working on, I picked these colors based on the sky one day when I was walking home from the train station. The sun was setting, and there happened to be in the sky some blue left, but of course this vibrant pink from the sun setting, and then all the trees around me. And I just wanted to try and capture that. But I wanted to blow it out of proportion. I wanted to make it more eccentric than the moment was. And so I got the pink, and I got the blue, and I got the green, and I just started going. And the aha moment for me was the movement of the paint, definitely. I had put a ton of paint on, and there's almost no texture on this canvas. I had put a ton of paint on, and did my usual spraying with the water, and by putting a lot of paint on it, it allowed for an intense movement of the colors and blending of the colors without any canvas showing through underneath. And that made me realize that's something I was looking for in my painting. I want deep, rich, thick colors. I don't want fading. I don't want it to look like a watercolor. I want it to be bold, and I want it to be vibrant. And so that was one of the aha moments for this piece. And once I got this movement going with the blue, the red, or the blue, the pink, and the green, once I got that going, I loved it. It was great, but there was definitely something missing. And so I kept thinking about what to do to try and make the rest of it pop, because I knew I often do layers and layers on my canvases, and a lot of movement and a lot of partial covering up of parts of it, and then putting more water on and letting that move. But this one had kind of gone on as one layer. But this background layer I loved. I didn't want to wreck it, but the piece still needed something else, because what I find is when you're doing art like this, there's a point in the painting process where you're gonna get I get something on the canvas and I realize that I love it, but there's no focal point. And if I may be so bold as to say that I think that's one of the mistakes with certain types of art that's coming out nowadays, particularly trendy new ways of doing art, like pouring, which is very trendy right now, to take very liquid acrylics mixed with resin and pour them on the canvas, and you add alcohol to it, and it moves in crazy ways, and you add metallic powders to it, and they are gorgeous, and they are beautiful colors and beautiful movement and interesting things. But one of the things I think is missing in a lot of the pieces today is a focal point. When people look at a painting, you have to help, as an artist, you have to help guide their eyes across the canvas. If there's no depth and if there's no focal point in a painting, people will get lost and confused when looking at your piece. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people will. Oftentimes people are looking for the art to tell them something. And if your canvas is simply just this one big expansion of colors with no depth and no contrast and also no texture. I mean, you don't always have to have texture, but if you have none of those things, then people are going to get lost at looking at that piece. So that's what I had found, is once I'd done these background colors, there was no focal point. Even with the contrast of the green and the pink, there still felt like there was this lacking, like it didn't make any sense. The piece didn't make any sense. There was nowhere for your eyes to be guided. You could go up, and that's about it. And so I really had to, I hummed and hawed about what to do next, because I didn't want to wreck the background. And what I came up with was a feature of my art that you now see almost in almost every single painting I do. And as my sister-in-law Heidi calls it, she calls it the dots. When I do the dots on my painting, it's not pointillism. That's a totally different thing. It's not necessarily splatter paint either. It's a little less aggressive than that. What I do is I take colors from the background and contrasting colors to the background, and I very slowly and carefully dot them on. Usually it consists of a paintbrush with the paint slightly watered down, and I'm just tapping it on my hand ever so gently, because I don't want to fling it across the canvas. I'm just looking for dots. And in some pieces it may look like I just threw caution to the wind and let the dots go wherever they wanted to, but most times that's not it. I am very particular about where I'm putting those dots. So on this piece, it starts up here with yellow dots, and there's some white, and the white is very, very fine, almost like a dusting. And the yellow and the white come down and go all the way up both sides. And then across here, there's some dark purple that's being added in, and it really perfectly contrasts the green and the pink. So the dark purple comes across, and it also goes all the way up. And then there's this kind of yellowy green color, and that as well, I already said there was some yellow there, but there's some more green here that comes across. Maybe you can't see it, it's very fine. And it goes all the way up as well. And then the last thing I did was I took the blue. So if you look in the top left corner, there's a very bright blue right there. I take that and I work it into the piece in other spots. So there's a smattering of the blue across. By doing this, I notice that things all of a sudden pop. As soon as I get those dots on there, everything comes alive, and it creates a focal point, which doesn't really make any sense because it's all over the canvas, and they're small and minor and multiple colors, but by grabbing some colors in the background and finding contrasting colors to the background, it allows for a depth that wasn't there before. And that's how I came up with the name for the piece, as soon as it was finished, I knew right away. To me, it looked like flowers in a field, that you're walking through a meadow, the sun is setting, and there's these spring, summer flowers blooming in the field. So that's how I came up with the name. And there's a few little added things, like sometimes it's good to add a little bit of unusual, I don't know how to say it, adding something that doesn't quite fit, but it goes anyways. And so down here in this corner, there's actually some bright gold. And you can probably not even see it on the thing. And there's a little bit of it right here too, a little bit of gold. And it's just very unusual, but it adds kind of this shine. It adds something that's kind of bizarre, but kind of fits all at the same time. And yeah, I didn't explain at the beginning. This piece is a 36 by 48 inch painting. It's very large. Obviously, you can see, like when I stand up, I'm against it. It's huge. And this size is one of my favorite sizes to use. I do it quite a bit. It seems to fit in a lot of good spaces. Like, it's perfect for over a couch. It's perfect for high ceiling houses. And it's not too big that I can't work with it in my studio, in my tiny little studio. As I've always said, I use a gallery depth profile, so that's almost 2 inches. And for me, it allows that if people don't want to frame the art, then it still looks nice. This piece, for the edges, it's one of the few pieces that I have, I think, yeah. On the bottom here, the bottom is not painted. The bottom is painted along with the canvas. In other words, I let this drip down all the way down the canvas, so the painting continues along this part. But along the other 3 edges, I took a blending of the blue and the pink to make kind of this interesting purple, and that's what's along the other edges, and it looks quite nice, I think. Something a little different, not just black, not just white, something just, and not a continuation of the painting, but a complement to the painting. So yeah, so that's this piece, Flowers in the Field. My sister Julie is my older sister, and my sister-in-law Heidi, both of them, this is their favorite piece of all the pieces I've ever done. And it doesn't quite go in Heidi's house. I'm working on one for her. If you didn't see my Wednesday video, I'm working on one for her. But it could go in my sister Julie's new house. And so I'm waiting to see if she's going to snatch it up. I mean, she's my sister. All she has to say is, I'm taking that home. So we'll see if she takes it. I don't know. But currently it is available. But yeah, so one of my older pieces, a very light bulb moment in this piece for me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had a break in your day. I hope you got to turn your brain off for a second and listen to me ramble on. But let me know if you have any questions about it. My next live video is on Monday, and we will be back with the kids' painting time at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We had so much fun on Monday, and I think there was almost 50 kids painting all at the same time at 10 a.m. on Monday, last Monday. And that just brought, like, my heart exploded. That is the most beautiful thing. We need to find beautiful ways to live life in this really weird time. And to me, that was one of them. So if you know people, I mean, there were lots of adults painting too. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't just kids. So if you know adults who want to paint, if you know anybody who just wants to try something, please tell them about my time on Monday. We would love to have more people join. You can just look at my posts for all the materials, but essentially kids just need something of a canvas, whether it's wood, whether it's canvas, watercolor paper would work. Don't use regular paper. Some paint and some paint brushes, and the most important thing is a spray bottle of water. That is my thing that I use the most, and kids really, really love it. So tell everybody you know, 10 a.m. on Monday, we will be doing live painting, and Malcolm, MJ, my assistant, will be joining me. And then on Wednesday, I will be continuing on with my live painting of my commission piece for my sister-in-law. And I will paint away and you can zone out and watch. A lot of people told me that was incredibly relaxing for them, which again, my heart exploded because that's what I'm trying to do here. I just want to offer a distraction and some time of rest and peace and information, and maybe you found this interesting, maybe you found it incredibly boring, but maybe it just gave you 5 minutes to just veg out. So let me know your thoughts. I would really love to hear from some people. And anyway, this has been long enough. So have a wonderful day. It is here in Calgary. It is beautiful and sunny, and we are going to go outside for sure and enjoy the outdoors. Even if the parks are closed, we will still enjoy the outdoors. So have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining. I love you all. Bye-bye.